This is your last formal lesson at MATC's nursing program, and I'm pleased to be the one to give it to you. I hope that all of you completed your tickets to learn, your evolves, and that kind of stuff, and I'll be checking that right after class to make sure they're done. But tonight's little lecture here is the final portion of your transition from student nurse to graduate nurse. There's no more Scantron tests or quizzes, just the NCLEX coming up. And after that, that's when the real test begins. Let's take a moment to review what we've learned in our last 3 years and all these prereqs and nursing courses that we had to go through. We started out with what seems ages ago, learning organs and bones and muscles and A&P. We made some things boil and blow up in chemistry. We swabbed things like toilets and cafeteria tables and doorknobs and micro, and tried to outgrow each other's cultures and see who could come up with the prettiest designs of colors of bacteria. We played psychologists in psych class, wrote some papers, gave some speeches, and finally we could take that NLN exam to petition to get in. And that's when the fun began, I think. We started our orientation and they told us that it was going to be a hard program and that nursing school is now your full-time job. And that you're probably going to have to quit working all your jobs altogether. I only have 4 of them, so that's not going to work great. But, and also tell your family and friends goodbye for the next 2 years, essentially, because it's going to be difficult. It's going to take up a lot of your time. And at first I didn't believe him, but it really was a true story. After the petition process was complete, we were now officially student nurses, and we had a sign when we were documenting in the charts we have to write SN after our name for student nurse. And it took a little while to get used to that, and after a while we were writing it on everything, like when we were signing our checks or greeting cards. And we just kind of got used to it. Pretty soon that'll be an RN, hopefully. In 101 fundamentals class, we learned about those dreaded things called care plans. The instructors did a good job of downplaying it at first, because you have no idea like how much stress and anxiety and lack of sleep that they cause, but they did serve a purpose, and I'm glad we went through it. In 102, we were introduced to our basic nursing skills, and what was yet another cause of what we found out was palpitations and hypertension, high blood pressure, and those are called performance exams. Remember those? I'll never forget the sights and sounds of the tears and the sweat and the running makeup and everything else that when our students were lined up to take those. And it was just, we were going in there to be checked off on things like how to take a blood pressure or transition someone to a wheelchair. You're stressing out. It gets better. 103 in pharmacology class, we learned about drug classes and interactions, and we started clinical, for most of which was in a long-term care facility like a nursing home. We gave bed baths and passed medications, and then we had to write out what was essentially a whole PDR, which is a physician's desk reference, talking about all these chemical interactions and side effects and everything of every single drug for all of our patients that we had to give. And that took a lot of time to do that. But now I'm glad I do it because I can tell you exactly what you need to know for that now. Most importantly, being in the clinical setting started our bond with our patients and made me realize exactly that I was making the right choice of getting into nursing and doing exactly what I needed to, or I knew I was where I was supposed to be. Then we moved on to second semester. We started with health promotion class, and that's all about the miracle of birth or the prevention thereof. We got to take care of newborns in clinical and began our mastery of our major medical conditions in cardiac, respiratory, renal, and neuro. Third semester was by far the most challenging. I'm sure you guys would agree. We started to learn advanced skills like how to give blood, do IVs, manage huge tubes that go into the chest. Like, oh my God. And then we had to be responsible for things like interpreting lab results, knowing those off the top of your head, and knowing what this thing called the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. which we had to know backwards, forwards, upside down, sideways, and in our sleep. And in fact, I think most of us did do it in our sleep, having been sleep deprived for the last 3 semesters. We learned about mental health disorders such as schizophrenia, personality disorders, and all about a topic called anxiety, something we had become very familiar with. But now we knew the cool medical terms for what we were feeling. We also learned a topic about called sublimation, which is a constructive mechanism for dealing with anxiety in socially acceptable ways. And we found it appropriate to burst out in class singing and making music videos, which are all on YouTube, keyword MATC nursing. And, but really, doing stuff like that, it brought the anxiety level down and brought us more closer together as a class. 4th semester, we started to feel like real nurses, learning about patient management and all the responsibility that rests upon our shoulders, and we completed the transition to an almost independent level of practice. Our instructors took us to the edge, and now it's almost time to leave the nest and fly. Today is bittersweet. On one hand, I'm glad it's over, so I can sleep. And on the other hand, I'm sad to leave my nursing school family I've become very close with. So in today's final lesson, I asked this question: why did we have all that anxiety? What was the purpose of that? And I'd like to propose an answer. It wasn't all the reading and assignments and tests and preparations and papers and clinical and studying that we had to do, although that might have had a little bit to do with it. We did it because we wanted to make you proud. And by proud, I'm talking about you, our families, our significant others, our fellow students, our coworkers, our instructors, but most of all ourselves. It takes a lot to be a nurse. You have to be smart, strong-willed, determined, and confident. And it is quite the process to get here. Although we have earned our spot here tonight, we must also never forget that in addition to just earning our spot here, it's really a privilege to be a nurse. Quite often in our careers, we're going to be with people at either their best or worst moments of life, from birth to death. And we must always hide that position in the highest regard. And really, we couldn't do it with all the support that we couldn't do it without the support that all of you have given us here tonight. No matter what type of nurse we're going to be, whether it be in the ER, ICU, surgical floor, labor and delivery, or one that sits behind a desk like Bonnie, part of the job is to help take care of their patients and their family, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And for a nurse to be able to give that kind of support to our patients, we also require that we need that support as well. And our families, our friends here tonight have all supported us through this process. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank you all, to be understanding for the past 2 years of our nursing career. So I'd like... We couldn't have done it without the constant encouragement from our wonderful instructors. Although we never always agreed on things like test questions or whatever, I know that you had our best interests at heart, and we do appreciate everything that you've done for us. And I'm also thankful for this opportunity to have been part of such a beautiful and talented group of future nurses. And I would let any one of you take care of me or one of my family members, because I know MATC has trained you to be both caring and competent. So